Well guys, here we are. We're pulling this Planetary gear set apart off this 8420T. We already got our sun gear shaft out. Pulled my snap rings you saw at the end of the video the other day. Now we're going to pull our brake disc out. What I want to do with this is this kind of chicken shit table here that a guy gave me the other day. Lay it up there. Alright, so now let's look up in here in the housing. Let's get some lifting eyes hooked up to the thing. We're going to start standing her up on end. This thing's about 1,500 pounds, so set her back down. There we go. Take these bolts out. Just throw them in the housing here so we're not laying them somewhere where we shouldn't be. We'll unbolt our ring gear from the center here, and we'll take 2 bolts out here and pretty much do the same thing over again. Put the lifting eyes in there, and we'll lift the ring gear out. I wonder if my little 3/8 gun's going to be tough enough to get those loose, because I left my 1/2-inch gun, and that guy's bringing, that irrigation district over there is bringing me some pickups to work on to my house in town, and he said he'd just throw it in one of the pickups, so hopefully I'll have it by tomorrow. That ain't gonna happen. I don't want to listen to that damn air compressor. Might have to though, just to get the ball rolling. They're Loctited. Holy shit, man. Oh. Okay, 1/2-inch drive. I've got something that'll get it loose. This long ratchet that'll work. 18mm. They are tight. Huh, Daisy. Hi, babe. Ugh. They're definitely tight. Alright, okay. Try this with this little gal again here. Still have a Loctite on them. Alright. These are shimmed, remember that. That plate's shimmed. Pull that stuff together. And then we need to pull 2 of these bolts out. Get a hold of this thing and lift her out of there. So I'm gonna have to fire up the air compressor and use my gun, my half-inch air gun, and zip these out. Our old Mac air gun there, what we used for years. That old faithful. Well, now listen to that thing. Well, the guy that rebuilds all the electric motors in town is finally getting back. I need to run my motor from my air compressor in the shop up there. Dave, he's getting kind of work. He's pretty independent too. He takes off for Arizona all winter. And the other guy in town, I don't really want him touching it, so hopefully it'll be long enough to. Slacker, I thought we had. Sometimes you got to do a little tap on it with a hammer to get it kind of gets, if you don't pick up exactly square, it'll kind of get bound up on the spline. So you got to work with it a little bit. Got to figure out which one's the high side. It's this side here. Let's go back down with it. Yeah. There she goes. I think we'll be changing this ring gear. Look at this bearing. You got a big bearing over here. I don't know if this little computer bench this guy gives me, I don't know if she's gonna hold up. It's metal, but it's tinny shit, you know. I'm running out of bench space. I got too much shit torn apart in here. Usually when these start leaking, that's usually what happens. You get a bearing or something going out in them. Alright, let's look at this bearing on the other side of this thing here. See what we got. It always seems like it's usually the inside bearing that starts going to hell on it, and then it takes the seal out. you're replacing one bearing, you might as well do them both. No sense in half-assing it. Wipe that off. We'll get it really close. Oh yeah, that bearing is shot. She's coming apart. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me get my camera off my hat. See how it's flaking right there? See it better there, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, but it's starting to flake, it's coming apart. It's gonna have to be changed. Alright. Now this whole housing will come off the top here. Oh, this bearing's hammered. Yeah, look at the race right here, guys. Look at that bearing race. Yeah, it's hammered. We cannot put that back together like that. And that's probably what made the ring gear pit out, was the bearing started failing on it. And the metal got into the, between the planet gears and the ring gear and ate the ring gear. That's what happened. Okay, so we got that part done. Now, as you can see, that lube tube in there is going through the shaft to lube the bearings. What we'll have to do here is when we pull this housing off the axle, we'll have to flip it back over and remove that tube so we can get that bearing off of there. Sometimes this crane, I can't wait to get another service truck, I really can't. A pure hydraulic crane, no more of this electric over hydraulic junk. I get so tired of coils and shit going bad on it and problematic. I guess I can't run the old girl down too much. She's made me a lot of money, kept my family fed for a long time, been pretty damn good to me, so I can't run her down too bad. She's just getting a little time on her, I guess, you know. She's worked pretty damn hard over the years. You know what happens on a big bearing race like that? When you take it out with a cutting torch. And when you put it back in, we'll put it in the freezer and we'll drive it in. Big bearing, we'll be using our bearing. I don't know if that cone heater is big enough for that. If not, I'll put it in an oven or something. I'll make this son of a bitch go on here. All right, Daisy, we're gonna lift the housing off now, hon. I got a knot in that chain, don't I? Not real good. Is it gonna work? Be careful with that tube in there. That bearing don't look too bad. So actually this time it was the outside bearing that took a big dump. Usually it's the inside one that I've noticed Usually goes out for some reason, but it ain't very good either. It's gonna have to be changed. Okay, let's set this down. See if I can get a little better look at that other bearing race in there. Now, is this outside one? Boy, look at that. You guys see that? That bearing started to fail. Isn't that nice? Just to give you guys a little bit of idea how big this bearing race is. There's my arm. That's probably about a $2,500 bearing. Alright, well, we know exactly what happened now. It's basically going to have to be completely reconditioned. I mean, I'm going to have to talk to the owner, but this is an expensive. This will probably cost, I don't know, man. Off the price of gearing. Most of the time, these Planetary gears, this could be a $10,000 job for him, easy. You know. You start replacing them big Planet gears and that big ring gear and those bearings, you're getting into a lot of money quick. So, we need to cut the bearing races out of it. Need to get these bearings off. I'll have to get up my big bearing, knife edge bearing spreader, and then what we'll end up doing on these, I've done these quite a few times in the past, we'll have to flip this back over and get this tube out. That way when this bearing does come off, it doesn't whack that tube and bend the end of it in or something. And then we'll I usually get my rosebud as I'm pressing on it with my knife edge bearing tool, and then I'll press them off. But I put heat on them. I put quite a bit of heat on them to do it. Alright, well, let me get situated here and we'll get the bearing races out of it and get her pretty much stripped down for rebuild. Well, we got that Planetary disassembled this morning. I left the house at a little after 4, and got down there about 4:30 and got it all disassembled, and the owner showed up about 7:30, and we bullshitted a while and trying to make a game plan of what we're going to do, because everything we were looking at there was high dollar stuff. So as soon as Deere opened their doors up and would answer the phone this morning, I called those guys, and they wanted $9,332 for the parts to fix that. You know, basically replace their ring gear, the Planet gears, the Sun gear, and the bearings and the seals. $9,300, and that's not even including all the labor it's going to take, you know, taking it off, putting it back in, which really isn't that bad. It's really not very, you know, I only had, the other day I might have had 3 hours, 3.5 hours into taking it off. I had about 6, including disassembling the Planetary this morning, you know, and so, you know, we'll probably have 12 to 15 hours back into it, putting it back together. It won't be that bad. But he's trying to save some money, and I just told him, I said, you know, if you want to, I mean, the Sun gear and the Planet gears didn't look too bad, but you know as well as I do, if you've been doing this long enough, all it takes is one flake of one gear to come off and destroy the whole damn thing, and then you're on the hook for the whole shit and caboodle. And I said, you know, if you want to cut corners, there's going to be something specifically in the billing that says you wanted to do that, and I'm not on the hook, you know. And I understand this is costing you a lot of money, but so I got to go, when I get back to the land of cell phone reception, I got to get a hold of him again and see what we're going to do about that. So I left the shop there and I went out and bled some brakes on that wonderful hay squeeze that you guys saw the video on here a while back. They had a little air in the one side still, so I bled it out and finally got it to where you can only pump the pedal twice to make the pedal hard instead of pumping it 10 times. And now I'm heading out to a 3155 John Deere that the Cowboys are using. And I was out here the other day. I fixed 4 tractors that day out here. Well, I didn't fix this one too good. It's a lot better than it was, but I came out here the other day. They had a 6430 that was throwing a bunch of codes, and long story short, the wires that all tee together and the harness there going to the suction control valve and the pump speed sensor for the common rail pump and the oh, what else, crank sensor. It's throwing codes for all 3 of those. And you'll see on those looms there's a plastic tee where they all come together. Well, I peeled that plastic tee off there, and all the wires had just rubbed together in there, and it, you know, all the copper was showing on them. And so I just kind of cut and spliced all those wires to where they could get going and feeding their cows. They pull a round bell feeder with it. So got that one. Then they had a Kubota M135 GX, and the four-wheel drive wasn't working on it, and I found a fuse blown in the fuse panel, changed that, and that worked, fixed that one for then. And then I went over to a 6415 John Deere that had a bad leak and said that oil was spraying on the tire. And this is all one ranch. These guys are a huge ranch, so a huge cattle ranch. They've got shit going everywhere. Yeah, but anyway, the transmission filter on the right hand side over there, no, it wasn't transmission, it was main hydraulic filter. Right over there by the right tire. Oh, where those little quick connect fittings with the little wire clip that go in there. The outlet tube of that, the O-ring was bad inside, so I took that apart and didn't have one damn O-ring in 4 different kits that fit it right. So I sent him clear over to Merrill to get that, and then I had a couple other service calls to make that day. Oh yeah, the 3155 that we're going to now. I fixed a couple leaks on it, but he said they're leaking again, so we're gonna go see what's going on. And then he said they broke the shift rod for first and second, so it's over here at a place they call Billy's Corrals, and we're gonna go over here to the corrals and see what's wrong with this thing. I got a feeling that that's a 3155 John Deeres were a European basically designed tractor, and they had those stupid DIN fittings that came in back to the back side of the remotes and fed them, and if people tighten those up too tight, it'll kind of flare them and make a groove in the fitting or the tube, and then they'll never seal up again. So and pretty soon they'll just tighten that fitting up till it almost hits the coupler on the back, you know, the body on it, and you can't go no more. You're done. So then either your guy has to pull that whole tube off and go get a hose made for it, and the fitting too usually, and then try to get the leak sealed up on it. So that's what we're doing right now. We're heading out to this cow ranch, and then I'm gonna go back to the shop, and I got my cylinder head, my injectors, I got my liners, pistons, rings, rod bolts, all that stuff in for the 6170R, and the guy delivering the parts from the nursery that owns the tractor says they said everything was in, and when we got to counting stuff over there was only 5 piston packs over there, not 6. So he got to questioning the guys at the dealership and said, where's the rest of the piston, where's the other piston? Well, 2 piston packs had to come from Portland, and 3 were in Milan, and the other one was somewhere else, and it hasn't showed up. So Deere doesn't have 6 piston packs in one warehouse for that engine. Can you believe that goofy shit? I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I used to be a really big time Deere guy. I work on a lot of them, but anymore, I don't know about them guys, man. I really don't. They're getting to where they're just about like just as bad as anybody else. It's a It's a $10,000 machine with a $100,000 paint job on it and about $5 people taking care of it. You know, I don't know. It gets kind of disgusting sometimes. And then the parts guys over there, they act like they don't give a shit whether your stuff shows up or not. They don't care whether you're losing time or losing money. They don't care. You know, they're gonna get paid for their 8-hour day and go home, and who gives a shit? You know, so that seems to be the mentality. But, you know, oh well, I guess what can you do? Just keep trying to do the best you can and get stuff together and take care of your customers the best you can, and make sure you let them know that, hey, you know, it's not me, it's them. They're the ones dragging their feet getting the parts, and they can't stock a whole rebuild kit for one engine. And how many of those 60, 68 motors are running around the countryside here? Hundreds of them. So I don't think we're the first ones to lose a motor either. Okay, I'm looking for this tractor, and I see all the cattle. There it is, sitting out there. And all the cattle around it. Now, where's the gate to get into this one? Bitch out. Ain't right there. Let's see, how the hell are they getting in here? I know the feed lot is down there a ways. I don't think I've ever been on this end. There's a gate right there, maybe. Maybe that might be where we need to go in, right there. This is one we better close the gates on. Yeah, that ain't wide enough to get through there. Got Duke. You guys better not be chasing cattle while we're out here. We'll get our ass chewed. Run a cow to the fence and I have to chase him down and get him back in. I'm not gonna be too happy. Man, I can't believe, look at this shit. February. Should be snow on the ground. It's just drier and shit out here. Alright, let's... Oh! Badger hole. Great big one too. Yeah, speaking of badgers, where's my pistol in case I run across one out here? You never know when you're gonna run across one of those mean bastards. Oh, this is a rough son of a bitch out here. Put a set of ball joints by the time you get out of this bastard. Well, they broke the shift rod. I wonder how they did that. And I think them cattle, they know where they get fed at. They're not too worried about me being around. Most of these cows out here on this, when I was younger, boy, they used to be, you had to sneak up on them. They were so damn wild. Okay, there she is, the old 3155. I have rebuilt the transmission on this thing a couple years ago. Oh, man, it's rough out here. Oh, get out of here, you old bitch. Alright, kids. You guys be good now. Don't be chasing them cattle, Duke. Oh, so this fitting here is leaking like a sieve. You can see it's been running down and washing this clean. I pretty much know we're gonna have to end up probably taking that tube off of there and getting a tube made for it. Looks like that damn thing might have it's leaking here somewhere. It's washing it clean on the housing there. See, somebody's kind of bent them tubes when they put them on there or something. They're kind of a little goofy there. I don't know if there's enough oil in this thing to do anything or not. It's probably clear out, and I don't want much stuff with no oil in it. Okay, let's look at the shift rod on it. Where's the shift rod at? Oh yeah. Let's see here. Well, that's in there. Where did he break it at? Oh, I see. Broke it right off the end here. Sure as hell didn't he? I'll just fucking take that out for now and weld it back together and get the part ordered. That way, hopefully something didn't hang up and let's take that off and weld that up. Alright, well, turn the right hand console clear apart and pull the logs off so you can get this damn thing out of here. That's a good screwdriver there, huh? Master mechanic. Yeah, that's a good one there. Nice pile of shit you got there. Okay. Okay, so pull all this crap off of here. Screw the knobs. Or tearing the whole damn thing apart. I think this one pulls apart too. Okay, so I thought this just popped off of there, but apparently not. Remember, some bolts out there by the fender, I think, holding it. I don't see. I mean, they got them all out here. Remember, there was some bolts out there somewhere you had to take off too, underneath the fender, if I remember right. God dang it, man. How many times am I going to step in that big pile of cow shit right there? Alright, well. And I dropped it. Where the hell did it go? There's a washer. Where's the bolt at? Shit. Why does that always happen? If I can find that bolt. Where in the hell did it go? Huh. Well, that's a little odd. Do a little more scouring here in a little bit. I can find it. Stepped in that big pile of cow shit twice now. I missed it that time. Okay. This should come off here now. There's something holding. Huh. goes through. Ought to come up with it. They'll just not pull it all the way out. Might be able to get it out without doing that. Okay, so which rod is broken? It would be the inside one right here. Let's see, can we get this? Man. Oh, shoot. This ain't no fun, guys. What the hell is holding this back here? Oh, shit, I couldn't see it. Okay, now I got her. Show you. We'll show you. Let me get that. Oh, they popped her clear out of there, didn't they? Now we can get to it, get it off the machine, weld it up. Alright. Climb back up underneath and see if we can drag it out of there. How's it going to come out of there, though? Is it going to fight us every step of the way? Because I'm in a hurry, so of course it'll be a pain in the ass. Why would it be any other way? I think I need to come out the top, because that's the straight end of the shaft is there. The other one's got a dog leg in it to meet up here on the linkage, so I think we need to come out the top with it. Facilitate. Oh, well, there it goes clear to the bottom now, so let's go back out here and see if we can drag it out the bottom now. This kid here, this Dodge pickup, he's got a lead foot. He likes the throttle pedal. He got hit me head on the other day on this dirt road out here. Damn near got me. Damn near got me the other day. Ah. Come here, guys. Alright, so we got to figure out, being as we are going to be welding a solid for now, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to make sure it's clocked in the right position before you weld it on there. Okay, so that was like that. Now it was like that. Yeah, that came up through there like that. So this was in the tractor like that right there. Alright, worst case scenario, I can loosen this and turn it. But that ain't really gonna work though. I've got to make damn sure that this is right. So I'm gonna stick it back through there and just make damn sure I've got it clocked and positioned right. Well, she's hotter than a pistol and I don't got no water out here. I don't know if I got a cup of coffee or anything in there I could pour on that bastard to cool it down. Oh, I got some tea here. I gotta throw some tea on that. Cool that son of a gun down. I don't want to grab a hold of it. Burning tea. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me. Alrighty, well, here we go. Stick it back in there. Which ought to be just a good time. Basically sticking a square peg through a round hole. And that's basically what I'm doing. Sticking a square peg through a round hole. Alright, I'll get that off. Managed to knock off the damn throttle linkage while we're trying to wrestle that one in. Okay. Alright, where's the pin at? Oh, what in the shit did I do with that? Oh, man. Losing my mind here. Huh. What the hell I did with that? Probably stuck it in my pocket knowing me. I don't see it there either. See if we can get it on underneath, I guess. God, I gotta get back to the shop. I got a lot of shit to do there. Engine rebuilds and you name it. Shit going on and stuff like this kind of kills you for time on that. She's still a little warm to the touch. I'm gonna have to be careful. Okay. Got a burr or something on it. I want it to go all the way in. It's always something. There's the pin for the bottom. I don't know what the hell I did with the damn pin. This is what it's like, guys, when it's a cluster. Let's get a little file or something. See if we can clean that burr off of there. You have to go through the hole right. I gotta find that pin. What the hell happened to it? It's been laying right here somewhere. What in the hell? Oh, did a shit, you laid it right here. Now let's get the bottom in first. I figured I'd record some of this. A lot of this stuff I don't record. I didn't know if anybody wanted to see this kind of crap, what I go through on a daily basis. They go, oh, your hands are dirty, you know. Some guy says in there, yeah, look what I do every day, man. It's going to work. Yeah, got a little piece of slag on that. Little piece of slag on her. Now she's going on lean, I think. Oh yeah. All right. All right, little C-clip here. Should have brought my little screwdriver, but I didn't. I want to go get it. Edge of that C-clip there, E-clip or whatever the pest they call that thing. Okay, it's on there. Let's make sure and pull on that. Alright, she's on there. Alright. Put her back out on the top and then pull that tube out of there. And go get another, go get a hose made for it. Make sure she shifts first, though, I guess. Oh, we gotta get that. Gotta get that in there first. So, what range would it actually be in? Being where it's at. Kind of stuck in, kind of in between or something there, isn't it? I like this camera. I can talk to myself all day, and I got a good excuse for it. All right, let's put the little shift guide back on it. Get it back in there. Uh-oh, something hang up in this thing? Is that why it? Okay, there we go. I think it was in. All right, it was in 2 ranges at once, and it won't do that. Why is this thing fighting me so? Oh, these old tractors. Some of this kind of stuff like this was a real pain in the ass trying to get all the linkage and all the crap lined up. That's one thing. A little bit nicer about some of the newer stuff. It's just a wire. But that stuff here, you can weld it back together when it's screwed up. You don't go, well, shit, the sensor's out, you're done for. Oh man, that thing must have been in a little something, a little bit maybe, huh? It's gonna be in a little ornery. Hand throttle there. Oh, bend that over a little bit. Oh, yeah, they can be a little bit stubborn. Getting all the linkage and all the crap lined back up on it. Oh shoot, man, that's my hair fell over on me. Get over there, you dirty bastard. Okay, now where are we at? Hanging up somewhere somehow. Okay. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. All the knobs back on it. Maybe we ought to make sure it shifts first, huh? Oh yeah. She's fine. We got that fixed. I don't want to start it with that, I mean, no oil and dipstick. I don't know if they run it clear out, and knowing some of these cowboys. I got a lot of friends in cowboys, and I always tell them boys, I said, you know what? I give them a hard time. They give me a hard time for being a filthy grease monkey, and I always tell them, I said, you know, do you guys wear your spurs when you're running that tractor, and just kick her a little harder or make it go, or what do you do? And they said, yeah, we'll get it all nice and greasy so you get there. Yeah, we all give each other a hard time. Oh man, I got a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff to do. Trying to buy a new service truck, and not a new one. I can't afford a $120,000 service truck. Trying to look for something like a like an F750 or F800 or like a 330 Peterbilt, or you know, something like that. Something with about a 10,000 pound crane. I need something a little bigger. I'd like to get saved up about 50,000. You know, and if I do buy a $100,000 one, I'd like to go put about half down on it, and that way my payments don't kill me. I kept looking at, you know, other trucks that were cheaper, and every one of them I could find for 30 or 40 grand. Just, you know, man, I said, man, I don't have time. That's what I'm doing here, to work on my own stuff. I almost need. It almost needs to be pretty damn low mileage when I get into it. I'm gonna have to do something. This bolt, they've got the threads all screwed up on it. You know, I'm gonna have to have something with some pretty low mileage. I still got trying to find that one bolt that fell down there. I don't know where in the hell it went. Alright guys, so we're leaving the 3155. I SD card was full and I deleted a couple small portions of the video that I wasn't going to do anything on. So, and my battery on my GoPro's down to like 14% right now. So I got this thing here and I got the shift linkage welded back together and got it all scabbed back together. Now I've got that miserable tube going up to the remote that was leaking with that wonderful DIN fitting on it. So I'm gonna take the DIN fitting tube and take it back to the shop, and I took the O-ring boss fittings where the DIN fitting screwed into the valve and to the remote coupler off. There was a 90 on the valve and then one on a straight on the remote. And then I'm gonna put a JIC 2 O-ring boss fitting on there and then make a hose and come back and put a JIC fitting on it. The DIN stuff is just, a lot of people just don't stock them around here, you know. If anybody knows what DIN is, I know you guys over there in England are probably used to what a DIN, it's a Deutsch, I used to know the Deutsch International something, I don't know. There's somebody would probably chime in and tell me what that means, but it's a Deutsch fitting. It's a metric, some kind of metric tubing fitting, but oh man, this field is rough. But that'll be all for now, and on this video I figured I'd try to pump out a few more videos a little bit more often. So alright guys.